Imagine this. You walk into a stylish German boutique ready to buy a pair of shoes. You spot the perfect pair. You open your mouth to say something, but suddenly your mind goes blank. Do you say, ich mag diese Schuhe? Or maybe, diese Schuhe gefallen mir? Or wait, what about, ich kaufe gerne Schuhe? They all seem to mean the same thing, but somehow they don't. The sales assistant stares at you and just waits. Why does German have so many different ways to express something as simple as liking something? And what's the real difference between them? In today's Shallow German Deep Dive, we're cracking open this mystery and making it crystal clear. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly how to say that you like something in German, or how to express your likes and dislikes and everything in between with confidence and precision. Let's get the broad strokes out of the way first. Both gefallen and mögen are verbs, which means that they can carry the action of the sentence. They mostly function like the English verb to like, but with different sentence structure around them. Gern, by contrast, is an adverb, which means that it adds something to the verb that is already there. While it is common to use gern with haben, it is more commonly used in conjunction with some other verb. It adds a feeling of gladly to whatever the action of the verb is. Short version, gefallen and mögen are primarily used to say that you like nouns, people, places, and things, but gern is used to say that you like actions or doing things. Let's start with the easiest one, mögen. In the example I gave at the top of this video, ich mag die Schuhe, I am the one that likes something, and the something that I like is the shoes, which gives us the subject ich in the nominative case, and die Schuhe as the direct object in the accusative case. For beginners, this is the easiest way to use mögen. Subject, form of mögen, noun that the subject likes, for statements. Sie mögen Videos von Herrn Antrim. They like videos by Herr Antrim. Form of mögen, subject, noun the subject likes, for questions without a question word. Magst du Erdbeeren? Do you like strawberries? Question word, form of mögen, subject, unless the question word is the subject, and then the noun that the subject likes. Was magst du besonders? What do you like especially? Wer mag Kekse? Who likes cookies? Speaking of the forms of mögen, it's an irregular verb. It follows the same type of pattern seen with the other modal verbs, link in the description for a full lesson about those. The singular forms get a stem change, and the plural forms are conjugated regularly. Ich mag. Du magst. Sie, es mag. Wir mögen. Ihr mögt. Sie mögen. Magst du mein neues Auto? Do you like my new car? Mein Bruder mag Kuchen. My brother likes cake. Wir mögen Computerspiele. We like computer games. Note that this last sentence does not say that we like to play those games, only that we like the games. Liking to play requires a different turn of phrase. Since mögen is exclusively used with a direct object that is liked, you have to add an extra phrase if you want to say that you like to do something using mögen. For example, wir mögen es, Computerspiele zu spielen. We like playing computer games. Literally, we like it to play computer games. This kind of phrase is known as an infinitival clause. I have a full video about those linked in the description, but the basic idea is that you remove the subject from the clause and put the verb in the infinitive form, i.e. the non-conjugated form. Put that at the end of the sentence with the preposition zu. Then you just put whatever other parts of the expression you need in front of zu and the infinitive. Wir mögen es, unsere Hausaufgaben vor der Klasse, vor dem Klassenzimmer zu machen. We like doing our homework in front of the classroom before class. As you can see, this kind of phrasing can get complicated if you use longer clauses. The easiest way around this is to use gern and eliminate the verb mögen from the equation. For example, wir spielen gern Videospiele. We like to play video games. Wir machen gern unsere Hausaufgaben vor der Klasse, vor dem Klassenzimmer. We like doing our homework before class in front of the classroom. As I mentioned before, gern is an adverb, which means it modifies the verb. This is the reason that you can't gern something. You have to verb gern. Ich schwimme gern im Sommer. I like to swim in the summer. Wir tanzen gern in der Disco. We like to dance in the club. Meine Lehrer geben gern viele Hausaufgaben. My teachers like to give lots of homework. The placement of gern is often a question for German learners, but it really isn't that complicated. It goes as close to the verb as you can get it without interrupting the subject and verb connection. For example, Was isst du gern? What do you like to eat? Because this is a question, the subject is after the verb, which means gern has to be pushed over one more place. In all of the other examples so far, gern is right after the verb. Im Sommer schwimme ich gern. In the summer, I like to swim. This is similar as it moves gern to the other side of the subject because the time element started the sentence. This forces the subject to move to the other side of the verb. Since the subject and verb always like to be touching like that clingy couple that you see on the street, the subject simply switches sides and continues to be next to his sweetheart. Gern takes a back seat and gets pushed further down the sentence. You may have also come across gerne. This is exactly the same word and is used completely interchangeably. In fact, gerne is the original form and gern is the slang version that evolved later. No one really cares about this difference nowadays, but some consider gerne to be the more formal of the two. You could also use gern with haben to mimic the same meaning as mögen, but it's mostly used with people and animals, whereas mögen is used with pretty much anything. Ich habe dich gern. I like you. Mag mich nicht. He doesn't like me. Quick side note, when you're using gern haben, gern functions as a kind of separable prefix, which is why you will find gern at the end of the sentence with haben, but closer to the verb in sentences with other verbs. So far, we've learned that mögen is mostly used with nouns, or at least an object of some sort, in the accusative case, while gern is used with an additional verb. So what's up with gefallen, and what does it do? Gefallen and mögen are almost entirely interchangeable. The problem is that gefallen requires the dative object instead of an accusative one, and the sentence structure is turned on its head. Die Schuhe gefallen mir. I like the shoes. This is the same as saying Ich mag die Schuhe. I like the shoes. Instead of having the person that likes something be the subject, the verb gefallen says something like this object is pleasing to this person. With the English construction to this person, we can easily see why it requires the dative case, as this is what a lot of other dative constructions do. For example, mir ist kalt. It's cold to me. You can find out more about these dative phrases via the video linked in the description. Back to gefallen. Die Bluse gefällt dem Mädchen. The girl likes the blouse. Die Socken gefallen dem Mann. The man likes the socks. Due to the fact that the subject is always the thing that is liked in these sentences, the verb gefallen is almost exclusively used in the er sie es or plural sie forms. Basically, it can only be used as this singular thing is pleasing to someone, or these plural things are pleasing to someone. It's possible to say other things, however. Du gefällst mir. I like you. Just keep in mind that gefallen is a stem-changing verb, which means the du and er sie es forms of the verb require an umlaut where the other forms do not. Just like with mögen, you can use a clause and an additional verb with gefallen in order to say that you like doing something. For example, Es gefällt mir, Schuhe zu kaufen. I like buying shoes. Again, it's simpler and more common to just use gern and avoid all that nonsense. Ich kaufe gerne Schuhe. I like buying shoes. While generally speaking, gefallen and mögen can be used interchangeably, gefallen is generally more superficial liking, whereas mögen is a deeper liking. If you use gefallen with regards to a person, it means that you like them on a superficial level. For example, mir gefällt diese Frau. I like this woman. You don't know her name, you know very little about her, but what you do know, you like. She is beautiful, humorous, or something like that that attracts you to her, but you don't have enough information about her to really use the verb mögen. Another oddity happens in the past tense. When talking about things that you like in the past, mögen and gefallen carry different connotations. Mögen in the past indicates that you no longer like that thing or person. For example, Ich mochte meine Ex-Frau. I liked my ex-wife. Or Ich mochte die Goonies. I liked the Goonies. Both of these say that you no longer like your ex-wife and you no longer like the Goonies. For a full lesson about modal verbs in the past tense and why mögen becomes mochte, you guessed it, link in the description. Der Film hat mir gefallen. I liked the film. This version indicates that at the time that you watched the film, you liked it. It says nothing about your current thoughts on the film. So let's break down what this looks like. Mögen is a verb, and it takes an accusative object. Ich mag Schuhe. I like shoes. Gefallen is a verb, and it takes a dative noun or pronoun. Schuhe gefallen mir. I like shoes. Gern is an adverb and is used with extra verbs. Ich kaufe gern Schuhe. I like to buy shoes. What happens if you don't like something? How do you navigate these various kinds of sentences? Let's take a look at some examples to figure it out. Ich mag Schuhe. I like shoes. Ich mag keine Schuhe. I don't like shoes. This also says I don't like any shoes. Ich mag deine Schuhe nicht. I don't like your shoes. This kind of negation comes down to, what do you mean to say? Do you mean that you don't like any shoes at all? Then use kein. If you mean that you don't like some specific shoes, then use nicht after the noun. Schuhe gefallen mir. I like shoes. Keine Schuhe gefallen mir. I don't like any shoes. Deine Schuhe gefallen mir nicht. I don't like your shoes. This is basically the same. You can say you don't like any shoes, or you just don't like those particular shoes. Either way, you use the same negation methods. Ich kaufe gerne Schuhe. I like buying shoes. Ich kaufe nicht gerne Schuhe. I don't like buying shoes. To negate gern, simply add nicht in front of gern. There is also ungern, which is used less commonly, but can be used to negate gern. Ich esse ungern Spargel. I don't like to eat asparagus. This isn't very common, however, so avoid it if you don't really know what you're doing with ungern. And there you have it, 3 different ways to say that you like something in German, each with its own quirks. Whether you're a fan of grammatical puzzles or you just want to survive your next German conversation, you've got the tools now. You want to dive deeper? Click one of these videos for more German goodness. Bis dann! Tschüss!